Welcome to another episode of Bytes. It's good to be back. It's been a little while, so it's very exciting to be back on the microphone. And the reason I have jumped back on is because on Tuesday I have a talk that I'm going to be giving to some students at Murdoch University, and there are students doing a business course. And most of them are in the creative field, so it's going to be very exciting to speak to them about my journey in business and try and provide a little bit of value and some factors in business that I think have worked in my favor and things I still need to be doing. So it's going to be very exciting on Tuesday to speak to these students. I'm not the best public speaker, so I thought I would try and get some of my thoughts onto an episode of Bytes, which will give me a bit of a basis for the talk. And the talk initially is going to be just about my business and the journey so far. And then I want to talk about a few of the little factors that have really helped me create a sustainable business. I mean, the business now has been going, 14 years or so. So what is my business? Well, it's Meta Creative, and Meta Creative in that form has been going about 5 or 6 years. I changed the name from MD Design, which is a terrible name. That's my initials, Michael Duncan, so MD Design. And traditionally we did graphic design and print work, sort of traditional graphics work. But really the last few years we've transitioned the business with the name change as well into a digital agency. So we still do print work and some branding and general graphic design work, but new business and the way we're sort of pushing forward is definitely as a digital agency, helping small to medium-sized businesses get online and connect to their community. So that's our goal with the business just now. So 14 years ago I was working full-time at a design agency in West Perth. I decided to finish up because we had young kids. The kids would have been at that stage 4 and 1, maybe 18 months Sam would have been. So we had young kids, and Joanne, my wife, was working full time. So I decided to try working from home for a little bit to see if we could sustain that. And it worked out pretty well. I had connected obviously I had brought a couple of clients into the business I was working in before. So I'd actually brought these clients into the business, so I didn't steal any clients. So when I started working for myself under the creative name of MD Design, I connected with these people again and just said, I'm on my own now. Here I am offering these services, the services that you know me for. And I'd been working previous to the design agency work. I had been working in the oil and gas industry in a publications house, and I had a lot of contacts in that area. So we started doing sort of annual reports, a lot of corporate work for a couple of the bigger, actually not bigger, a couple of the sort of junior oil and gas explorers in Perth, which was very exciting. And it was all to do with connections with people. And that's one of the factors that I wanted to sort of talk about in regards to how the business has sort of carried forward into today. And it's all been about the network and the connections that I made at the very beginning and when I was working, for people before. So 14 years. It's been a good ride, a rough ride at times. I learned a hell of a lot. Probably learnt more than I actually think I have. I'd love to get back to that sort of first few weeks working from home and feel what it was, get into my head back then and see what was happening. But I can't do that. I am who I am now, which is amazing, and it's been an amazing journey. And as I said, it's had ups and downs, but I could, to be honest, I can never work for somebody ever again after sort of creating my own footprint, my own business. It's been absolutely amazing. So the first sort of catalyst, I suppose, was becoming a stay-at-home dad, I suppose. I mean, obviously still working, but being at home, being able to do drop-offs, pickups to daycares, to schools. So that was kind of like the initial catalyst for starting the business. I wasn't kind of an entrepreneurial spirit and thought, this is it, I'm going to dominate the design market in Perth and grow the biggest business ever. It was kind of like a lifestyle choice, and it was a great choice in the end. And over the last maybe 3 years, I'm probably now going down the path of wanting to kind of expand a little bit, not too much. I don't want to create a massive agency, but I want to create a little bit more impact for my clients, which is obviously going to need people coming on board. It's been very exciting in the last 3 months. I've had Victor come on board as a partner in the business. Well, initially as a full-time employee, but obviously in the next 3 months we'll be looking at how that setup is going to be from a partnership. And again, it's about the people. It's all about the networks. I've known Victor for a long time, taken it easy over the last couple of years, speaking with him about possibilities of joining up, and it eventuated this year, which was amazing, and definitely onwards and upwards. So I suppose from an advisory position, if I was going to advise anybody thinking about starting their own business or looking into starting their own business, I would say number one, it's about the network. It's about the people you hang around, about the people you connect with. Initially, I started in BNI, so I think within the first 2 or 3 months of working on my own stuff, I joined a BNI chapter, and I hate that word, chapter, in Leaderville, and went down there once a week, chatted, caught up with people, got business for people, got business from people, and that was an amazing start to the journey. It got me out into the business world. It got me meeting some amazing people, and that really was another, the secondary catalyst, for the growth and success of the business over time. I wouldn't say BNI in this day and age would be the best choice, because there's a lot of, I think BNI has probably got a lot of old school mentality still in place, which I think they're going to need to shift. They're going to need to shift over the next couple of years if they're going to survive, because there's a lot of sort of community and networking going on around town. So definitely networking is like the number one thing you should be doing if you're thinking about or starting your own business. Get out, meet people, because I've still got clients, I've still got people I connect with on a weekly basis that I met back in the day, or were connections with people that I knew through BNI. So just get out there, meet people, speak to the person on the bus, speak to the person in the cafe, and don't be shy. So, and I was quite a shy person, so BNI definitely helped me, because you had to, I think, every few weeks you had to sort of take over and present who your business was. So it was really good getting your head into that space. And as I said before, I'm still not the best public speaker, but I'm definitely more confident now than I ever have been, and I want to push myself a little bit more. And this talk on Tuesday is going to be very interesting for that. What else? I think back when I first started, saying yes to every job was necessary. So, yes, I can do that. Yes, let's do this project. Yes, I can handle that. And you sort of jump into the fire and you learn so much from that experience. I think maybe down the track, when you've got the experience and you've got a good foundation for the business, I think the power of saying no, and I've really harnessed this probably in the last 5 years of business, the power of saying no to a new client or to a job that you maybe aren't confident with, or really doesn't fit in with your kind of plan for the business. Saying no is actually very powerful. It means that you don't get bogged down on a job that you really don't want to be doing, that you maybe don't have the passion for. So yes, initially. So maybe, if you're starting out in business, unless you can really feel something, you've got a gut feeling that you shouldn't be doing this, and if you say yes to something like that, it's your own fault. But yes to little jobs that are within your realm. Yes to lots of things, because again, it gets you out, gets you learning on a day-to-day basis. But maybe down the track in a business that's a little bit more mature, saying no can be very, very powerful, because it means that you know what you want. It means that you've got a really good idea in your head about the jobs you want to be doing, the clients you want to be working with. And this is really important. And, over the last few years, we've really honed in on what it is we want to be doing and who we want to be working with. We've got, when a new client comes on board, we've got sort of a kind of protocol to go through first before we actually take on the job. Is it something we want to be working on? Is the budget there? That gut feeling, is it right? Does the client know what they want? There's a few things we've got in place now which dictate what jobs we do. So initially, yes, but the power of no is really powerful. What else? Honesty. Complete honesty in business. And we've always I've got a real pride in the business that we've always been honest to clients. I mean, I would certainly never lie to a client, but every now and again, maybe sort of tell a white lie or try and hide something. But that's what I did initially, probably, and that was probably more from I didn't really have the self-awareness and self-confidence, and was a bit scared of certain confrontation with clients initially. But that soon changed, and complete honesty is now a deep part of our business. Something happens, we make a mistake, get it out there, get it out to the universe. Don't try and hide it, because it will come back and bite you in the bum. So over the last few years, we've really learned that honesty is the key. And as I said, not that we were dishonest before, but we would maybe try and hide something or kind of gloss over something. I mean, we all make mistakes in business, every single one of us. And owning these mistakes is a very powerful force, and actually creates a much deeper connection with clients as well. If you're honest about stuff and upfront, and it creates a trust, that will keep a client with you for years and years. And I've had clients now for 14 years. I've had clients right from day dot that I still do work for. So it's so that connection with community and honesty is an integral part of business. And I suppose the last thing I want to talk about, I mean, there's lots more, getting your finances right, finding a good accountant. There's some key people in your business, or key contractors subcontractors that you would use, or services that you would use, that will help you along the way. So finding the right people to work with, accountants, bookkeepers, is really key. And again, this comes back to your networking. Get out and meet as many people as possible, because the recommendations are always going to be good. So the last thing I want to talk about is personal development. So really working on yourself, because for me, my business is me. Not so much anymore with Victor on board, which is amazing. So, and this is getting me out of my comfort zone. I've had a very comfortable business career. It's had its ups and downs, money issues, all sorts of stuff. But now that things are set, and the last few years really developed a really strong platform for the business, it's time for me to take that step and grow the business, and rely and have accountability with somebody else on board. But personal development, so really working on yourself through, for me, it's been health, it's been mindfulness, it's been philosophy. So I've over the last few years, I've studied the Stoics, and that sort of stuff is really practical and can really help in your business. Meditation has been a massive part of my growth as a person over the last couple of years, being able to handle situations in a much more calm manner, even though I'm a pretty laid back person. So I haven't I'm not somebody that goes off the handle at certain things, but meditation just helps your brain. It's like a snow globe, your brain. There's things flying about there all the time. So meditation just helps that settle and gives you a much clearer view on any situation, on making decisions in your business. So yeah, personal development is, so if you're starting a new business, network, community, meet people. That's like number one. Number two is do the work you want to. Like really, like don't always say yes to work. And there's a caveat to that one. At the beginning, it can be quite powerful to say yes, because you'll learn very quickly, and learning obviously creates momentum going forward. And then personal development. So work on yourself, because you're the guy in control or girl in control. So work on yourself. If you're working as a good machine, as a good human, that will filter through into your daily tasks and activities and business. So hopefully this gives me a bit of a basis to work on what I'm going to talk about on Tuesday. I'm going to listen back to this a few times and sort of try and get some of these things in my head, and hopefully it sounds okay. But thank you for listening, and I have an interview coming up next week with, actually this is a really good connection. I have an interview coming up next week with James Simons from Lock and Charge, who were one of my first clients, and they've gone on to take the global market in their sector. So it's going to be very exciting speaking to James next week. Thank you for listening. See you soon.